Merry meet and welcome to Soulful Sunday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. And I kind of am in the mood for a fire today. So let me see if I can find a nice fire. Maybe even a bonfire would be nice. Yeah, let's do a bonfire. Welcome to Soulful Sunday. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube. And moderating today for us right here on YouTube are the lovely Deline and the lovely Honeypaw. Thank you so much, moderators. And thank you very much to everybody for joining us today. We'll get right to our lecture. We don't have any premiere today, and we are off Mondays and Tuesdays, so we will be back on Wednesday for Witchy Wednesday, though. So I hope that you can come back then. In the meantime, we do have, I'm finishing up all of the Serpent Psalm videos for Psalm 119. So I think today was the last individual video, and then tomorrow at 6 a.m. is when it's scheduled. You don't have to be there. I'm not doing a premiere for it or anything. But anytime after 6, if you want to watch the whole Psalm 119, I put them all together in one long video. And that's like an hour and 45 minutes. So it's a lot. But I put it on there just in case anybody wanted the whole 119 broken down for pathworking purposes. And that is also time-stamped. So if you want to go back and forth through any of those verses, you can. Or stanzas, I should say, any of the stanzas. So that's all finished. And then I should be getting the, what else do I have going on? I think there's some other stuff that I'm editing. I think there's the prosperity course. That's all edited and ready to be uploaded as well. So we've got a lot of that kind of stuff that's going on in the background that I don't do premieres for. But we will have a premiere probably Thursday and then maybe Friday. Definitely one on Saturday. So, and then also for Witchy Wednesday, if you have any particular spells or practical magic that you're looking for, make sure that you let us know. You can let us know either in the chat thread. You can put it in the private Facebook group or the Discord server, and I'm happy to accommodate if I know what you're looking for. I can either find some spells that I have, or I can create some spells for you, and we can use that as a catalyst for what we do on Witchy Wednesday. And it doesn't have to be practical magic either. Any kind of magical operation thing, the things that you want to actual nuts and bolts, you want to see me do magic on. So there's that. All right. Let's see, if you haven't noticed already, we do have a chat thread open. So chat amongst yourselves. If you have any questions for me, put them right in the chat thread. I will do my best to get to them before the end of the stream. I do have to get off on time because of work today. I work real early today. Yeah, I have a regular job, yes. Oh, it's so funny because I'll say, oh, I got to go to work. And somebody will say, oh, I thought all you did was YouTube. I'm like, no, that would be nice. But no, YouTube does not pay the bills. We have to work. Something else I wanted to tell you. Shoot. I should write these things down. Oh, well, it'll come to me later. All right, let's get going. If you're in a place where it is safe and appropriate, please close your eyes and begin to take some nice, long, slow, deep, relaxing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. With every inhale, feel more light and peace entering your body and mind. With every exhale, let go of all the tension in your body, along with anything in your mind that you do not want. Inhaling peace, exhaling as you let go. We picture ourselves on top of a beautiful mountain in the center of a circular grove of trees. In the center of our circle, a bonfire blazes forth, and it lights us and the grove with a sacred golden light. This is the light of perfect love and perfect trust, and it burns away everything unlike itself, leaving us safe and serene. Into this space, we invoke the presence of our Creator. To many of us, our Creator reveals themselves to be a mother and father, a goddess and God. We also call upon our angels, our teachers, our guides. We ask that they guide us as we walk upon the way, helping us to become happier, more powerful, more magical, and more loving people. Blessed be. If you're not in a place where you are, as long as you're not driving, or if you don't need to be in like total control of your conscious mind, I would like for you to take a moment and close your eyes again and to just take a few deep breaths and feel your heart beating. Just notice your heart beating. Tune into each beat of your heart. And notice the power that is beating your heart. Notice that that power is constant. The life force that is beating your heart is constant. Now, as you relax the tension in your body, notice that your awareness of this power beating your heart increases. And the more relaxed you become, the more aware of this power you become, until your awareness of this power behind your heart is the only thing you experience. And you can open your eyes and let go of that. That feeling, that life principle as flow through your body, flow through your mind, flow through your experience, that flow, I call that the magic flow. And that magic flow is essential. Being aware of that magic flow is essential to being effective in our magic. Now, whether you use that specific exercise or not doesn't matter. But your awareness of that that life principle, that life force, that prana, that will to keep you alive, is the same force that we tap into for any kind of magic. And it's important to understand that this magic flow is the universe's infinite and unstoppable power. It's the same exact power that makes the sun burn, that makes the planets revolve around the sun, that make the trees grow, that makes the tides flow, that creates stars and galaxies. It's the same exact power. There's no differentiation. And your share of that power is infinite because it can't be thwarted in any way. You can't overuse it. A lot of times we hear about, conserving energy in this world. And that's because this world this world has limited resources. But the universe doesn't have limited resources. And the magic flow is an unlimited resource that you can't overuse. And often when people first understand about connecting with this flow, connecting with this power, they think of it, and rightfully so, in terms of how they can use it to cast a spell, or to heal something in a body, or to change a circumstance. And those are absolutely righteous uses of this power. But a lot of us forget that just tuning into the power in and of itself without adding anything to it as far as our own conscious intentions can resolve things in and create things for us in much more powerful ways than if we kind of channel that energy in a specific way. And it's not that it's wrong to channel the energy in a specific way. You can. It's perfectly valid to say, I'm going to do a love spell, or I'm going to do a money spell, or I'm going to do a healing spell, and you channel that energy and you direct it. Absolutely, that's an important part of it all. But many times we forget that just tuning into the power in and of itself is all that's necessary. And that we can just very casually, very sort of like not in a nondescript way, attach whatever the issue at hand is to this power and let the power do it for us. Let the power resolve the problem. Let the power bring about the result without us doing too much directing. Really, the only directing we have to do is to attach the experience to the power. That's all that we have to do. Because in reality, it's never detached. But because of our powerful minds, if we feel like we have a problem, if we feel like we have an unfulfilled desire, it's as if those things are detached from this flow, from this magic flow. And so our job really only is in our mind to bring those together and then get out of the way and let it do its thing. A lot of times we're not comfortable doing that because we have this idea that the universe won't be able to figure it out for us unless we give it very detailed instructions. The universe is just so kind of idiotic and it's just real base level. This power that can create galaxies and suns and oceans and stars and moons and all of that wonderful thing, that babies and all of that is not quite smart enough to figure out what's going to make us happy or what's going to bring about a good result in this particular situation in our life. Can't understand our career, can't understand our money, can't understand our health. So we have to give it very, very detailed instructions. And we have to visualize to the T exactly what we want. Otherwise, it'll mess it up. And what we don't understand is that while that is, as like I said before, while that is valid to do those kinds of spells, and there's no judgment about that, that often we are shooting ourselves in the foot because we forget that we aren't as smart as we think we are. It's not that the universe is an idiot, it's that we're the idiot because we're limiting ourselves to just this or to just that. And many times when we limit ourselves to just this and just that, we don't have the understanding of the big picture to know why just this or just that can't happen for us or shouldn't happen for us. We don't know because all we have is our little vantage point. We say, no, this is exactly what I want. Give me this, nothing else. Give me this. But see, if we attach the situation to the magic flow and step out of the way, we can watch it work its magic in a way that we wouldn't have ever come up with on our own. That it does have a vantage point that we don't have and can see the big picture of not only what's going to make us happy, but what's not going to get in the way of somebody else's happiness. Or what's, many times we say, I want this, I want this, I want this. And when we get this, down the road, we say, oh, I wish it wasn't quite like this. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know this was going to be there. Right? But if we had taken a different approach to our magic and said, I'm just going to allow the same power that created me to resolve this situation or to bring me what's going to make me happy in this area of my life, it's so much better than we could have ever come up with on our own. So either way you do it is fine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do spells that are very specific. You can. And sometimes those work out really well, and sometimes those are great because they teach us a lesson. Maybe I shouldn't have been so specific. So either way is fine. But what's important, what the real topic today is the flow itself, is finding that flow and getting into that flow on a regular basis. Now, when you noticed that just a moment ago when we took you to your heartbeat and you noticed the power behind your heartbeat, many of you may have felt this flow in a new way than you have before. Maybe little chills and shivers running up your spine. Maybe a sense of jubilation or a sense of upliftment. It's definitely not just this passive feeling. There's definitely a buzz that goes on. And sometimes that buzz can get extremely intense the more you are aware of it. And it's like your whole being is shaking with this vibration of this magic flow. And if you can get in touch with that magic flow before you cast a spell and while you're casting a spell, things are very different for you than if you just relax and visualize, right? Because relaxing is part of it. Definitely relaxing is part of it. But relaxation all by itself, if you're not connecting to that flow, if you're not connecting to that magic flow energy, that life principle that animates the entire universe, then it's not quite the same thing, is it? It's like using a AA battery rather than plugging into the outlet. The AA battery is fine, but it's going to run out of juice soon. But if you're plugged into the outlet, there's never any chance that you're going to run out of that power. And not only that, but you've got full access to that power at all times. It's not just a little bit of power, it's all the power. So when you are walking through your life and you are confronted with a situation that's either something that needs to be resolved or something that you would like to get, you don't always have the time or inclination to be able to cast a spell, light a candle, sprinkle a powder, do a meditation. But if on a regular basis you are connecting with this magic flow, you can just take a few seconds to reestablish your feeling of connection with that flow. Feel those shivers, feel that buzz, if you will, and just take a second to attach whatever the desire or the problem is to that flow and let it do its thing. You can get so good at that you can do that while you're driving a car, because you don't have to close your eyes anymore. You can do that while you're on a bus. You can do that, while you're in the restroom. You can do that in the midst of doing something at work. You get to the point where you're able to cast these little spells without anybody knowing it, without you even flinching. Talk about stealth, right? Being a stealth witch is just connecting to that magic flow and taking a millisecond to attach whatever the situation is to that flow, and then step out of the way and let it do its work. Now, this is all very interesting, but it doesn't mean anything until you use it and you understand what I'm talking about. So I want you to do that this week. I want you to find this flow first and foremost, and try to get into this flow several times a day just for the sake of doing it, so that you can establish that connection with it very quickly without any rigmarole. And then once you do that, I want you to practice in real time, connecting a problem or a goal to that flow, and make sure that it's very brief, seconds at most, not spending a lot of time, definitely not visualizing the details, but just putting the problem or the goal together with this flow, just feeling it there, and recognizing that it's fully connected, and then going about your day, dropping the matter completely, going about your day, and noticing how quickly and efficiently the problem gets resolved, the goal gets at least maybe not fully realized, but you can see that it's well underway. And by having those practical experiences of connecting with this magic flow and having results, it builds upon itself. It starts to build momentum. And then you start living a life of magic flow. There's less and less time when you're out of the flow, and more time that you're in the flow. Imagine what that's like when you're in the flow most of the time, without consciously trying to be that way. You become one of those almost mythological creatures that is like a high priest or a high priestess of magic, where really powerful things are constantly happening around you and through you and because of you. And it's not a big show. Many people won't even notice that that's happening. It's not a big show externally, but it's a huge show to you when you start to realize, I used to live my life as if nothing ever worked for me, and now I can't help but have things work out for me. Now, the question always comes up with this or with any other kind of magical practice is, well, can I do it for other people? Can I do it for other people? You can, and sometimes it's very powerful if somebody's having a problem to connect them with this magical flow. But you see, there's so much free will that goes on with people's problems that we don't understand. And that even though it seems like such a nice thing for you to do, and it is a nice thing, it's very sweet that you're wanting to help people, but many times we don't understand why they're in the situation that they're in. And us connecting the magic flow to their situation without understanding their situation, even though we think we do, we're actually interfering more than we're helping. So what you can do, rather than directing the flow do a specific thing for them, you can just connect them with the flow and let it be. And just let it be. Let it be whatever it is. And if they reject that, they reject it. A lot of times they will. A lot of times it won't compute for them, because they have a whole reason why they're in this problem. They have this whole mindset that they have to learn about. They have to go through what they have to go through in order to learn about it. And you coming in to say, well, I'm going to heal this for you. A lot of times that just gets rejected out of hand. And that's not because you're an ineffective magician or witch. It's because it's just not, they're not ready for it. It's not their time to have that kind of an experience with the magic flow. So it's the difference between blessing somebody and casting a spell on them. You can bless them, and that's what we do when we connect this flow with them without having any specifics, saying, okay, this is I'm going to make sure that I see that you have this, and this happen for you because I care so much about you. Well, that's when you start interfering. Because you know in your heart, you think, well, this is good for them. But you don't know what they are all about. You don't know. You don't know what got them to that point. You may think you do, but you don't. You don't understand their whole relationship with the universe and all of that and the stuff that they need to work out. And so when you get too involved in working magic for other people, a lot of times you start to slip up with magic for yourself, and you start forgetting why we do this. We really do it for ourselves, and that's not because we're selfish. It's because we are responsible for ourselves, not for other people. It's not that we're being selfish and uncaring. It's just that this is for us. So for the most part, this or any other magic is really intended for your benefit. Not that you can't ever help other people with your magic. Of course you can. But that's not the basis of your work. And this is another thing that for me, I know a lot of people out there pay for spells or charge for spells. And, that's fine for them. I will never do that. I will neither pay for a spell nor charge for a spell. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put a price tag on my connection to the magic flow, right? So for me, it's really for me. It's for me and for my own work. Now, what I do is I teach, so I can help people to find this for themselves if they want to, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you should do either. A lot of times the best thing you can do is just bless somebody and hold a good space for them that they're going to find their way. And then you go about your life and you start working on your stuff. So think about it for a minute. Think about what, for your own self, what are just maybe the top 3 things right now in your life that you need to either have resolved or that you would like to achieve. And let it be somewhat practical. Don't be super duper pie in the sky about it. You can move just beyond your sphere of influence, but don't go crazy asking for $1 billion or something like that, or winning the lottery and all that nonsense. Just what is it that you want or that you want resolved? And we're just going to take a moment and just let the top thing come to mind, and then let's get back into that magic flow. So close your eyes for a minute if you're in a place where it is safe for you to do that, and find that heartbeat. And I feel a little lift right behind my heart when I do that. And I feel that little lift behind my heart, and I feel the beating of the heart, and I connect to the energy of the universe that is beating my heart. And that's what I want you to do. And you'll start to feel a little something. Everybody's different. For me, it's a little buzz, and then I get a little bit of tingling and shivering. And then very gently, nonchalantly, bring to mind the issue or goal. And then just know that by doing that, you are attaching that problem that needs resolution or that goal that needs fulfillment to this magic flow. Just take a moment to feel that flow again, the shivering or whatever it is that you experience. And then just say, thank you, blessed be. And it's done. That's it. Now, I would do just for now, I would do one thing at a time. It's really easy to want to pile everything up, and that's fine. I mean, the flow can handle that. But just to keep things organized in your experience, just stick with that one thing for now, and then maybe do the next thing tomorrow, and then maybe do the third thing the day after that, just so that you can have some time with the flow and you give it its own space in your mind. But notice when you do that, how quickly and easily you're feeling better about the situation in general. And if you notice that you're thinking about the thing, either wanting it to appear or wanting it to get resolved after you've done that, gently put it out of your mind. Just gently put it out of your mind. Just remind yourself this is in the hands of the magic flow. This is already being taken care of. Because the more you don't think about it, the more it can think about it for you. The more you take your mind off of it, the more powerfully you're going to have that resolution. So you get to the point where you learn when you're working with this magic flow, and any magic for that matter, that the only time you're thinking about the issue at hand is when you're giving another kind of treatment, magical treatment to it, or if you have to do something practically in the world in that moment regarding it. But other than that, it's just gently out of your mind. You gently take it out of your mind. You get busy doing something else, and you don't worry about it. And you don't have to worry if it pops up organically often. You just bless it and release it. You bless it and release it, but you don't ruminate over it. You don't ground it again before it's had a chance to manifest in the way that it's supposed to. This is so powerful. Working with the flow like this is so powerful. And a lot of times when people hear about this, they think, yeah, but I didn't use any herbs. I didn't use any perfumes. There's no candles. I'm not chanting. I didn't do any dance. I don't have a fire. How powerful can that be, right? So be careful of that, because what happens is many times our rituals are a problem more than a help. They're a hindrance more than a help, because we start to think that we need these things in order to get the results that we desire. And I love a good ritual. There's nothing wrong with ritual. I love ritual. And you can incorporate this with your rituals, by the way. You can have this be part of your ritual. But don't discount it as a practice unto itself just because it doesn't have a lot of ritual, is my point. Because a lot of the best manifestations that I've ever experienced as a result of working magic has come working like this, rather than working with a lot of ritual. Now, that's probably not the case when I was a beginner. When I was a beginner, I think the rituals really helped me because they kept me focused, and they really helped me get a hold of those different aspects of my mind. So those tools were very, very powerful and very helpful for me, especially at the beginning. But as I got older and more experienced in the craft, I noticed that these techniques that used fewer tools and rituals actually started holding more power for me, because they were able to be done on the fly. They were able to be done without any preparation. Now, the other thing about the magic flow is you can use it alongside other magic or not. Now, sometimes I'll use this idea of the magic flow when I'm working planetary magic, just as much as if I use it without that. If I'm working, let's say, angel magic with Anael on a Friday, doing an Anael ceremony or talisman or something like that, I'll still get into this magic flow. And then through that magic flow, the part of the magic flow that expresses itself as Venus and Anael and all of those things are highly active in that ceremony, are highly active in that operation. See how versatile that can be. You can use it just very generically all by itself, like we just did, or you can incorporate it into more intricate operations as you desire. But it's the it's the inclusion of the magic flow in your operations that is so powerful. And you'll notice that with it, things happen very quickly, and without it, they don't. And many of you have already done this all on your own, I'm sure, without calling it this, because it's sort of natural. It's very natural. It's just, like we said, it's the same power that creates you. It's the same power that makes your heart beat, that makes the planets revolve around the suns. It's the same power that makes embryos grow into babies. So that same power can do whatever. There's no difficult and easy to that power. So if you have a goal, if you have a problem that you need a resolution to, or a goal that you want to have realized, the universe wants that for you too. It wants that for you too. And in whatever way is going to be most expedient for you, it's going to bring it about. So if you can ease off on too many details, you're going to get it a lot faster. And if you want to work, like I said, if you really want to work through those planetary energies, there's a lot of power in that. You can do that. But if that's not your thing, and you just want something simple and easy, and you don't want to go down the road of really training in a system of magic, you don't need anything more than this. You don't need anything other than this flow. You can tune into the flow and just gently and very almost in a nondescript way, attach whatever that desire or that problem that needs resolution to this flow, feel that connection, and then put it out of mind and let it do its thing. And add as much or as little ritual as you desire. Remember, this is a craft. So there's no there's no stipulation on your aesthetic. It's a craft. It's not a religion. I know a lot of people like to think of the craft as a religion, but I don't. I think of it as an art form. It's a spiritual art form. And sometimes I want everything real minimalistic because it's very effective that way for me. And other times I really feel the need and the desire for a lot of ritual and a lot of extra symbols and tools and systems. And that's fine too. But it's a craft, and you have the right and the privilege to have your craft be however you want it to be. And it's nice to know, isn't it, that you can connect with the power in a very simple way for those experiences and those times that you don't need or want or desire a lot of ritual. And it's just as effective and sometimes even more effective than when we do big rituals and big ceremonies for ourselves. Finding that flow that's already established. Sometimes we say establish that flow. It's already established, or your heart wouldn't be beating. But you can tune into that flow, and then connect that flow with whatever your desire or your problem, whatever resolution you desire, or whatever goal you wish to be manifest. And just take a moment. It's really just a moment or two. It's not a big, long deal, to make sure that you are feeling that you've connected those two things together. And then you get out of the way and let it do its thing. And the way you get out of the way is put it out of mind. Don't keep bringing it to mind. Let it drop. Drop it from your consciousness. If it comes up organically, you don't have to fight against it, but just bless it and release it. Unless there's something that needs to be done, obviously. If there's something that you need to do, you'll be shown. If you need to do something practical in the world, you'll be shown and you'll do it. And then you put it out of mind. And the more you can do that, putting it out of mind, the better. Now, there may be time, you may want to reconnect with this power several times during the day, or maybe several days in a row, just like a multiple day spell. And that's absolutely fine. But just like with any other magic, you'll get to a place where you just feel like it's complete. Like you don't need to do this anymore. You don't need to connect anymore. You don't need to cast a spell for this anymore. And you can just let it go completely and not do this again. And it's like Joseph Murphy used to say, it's like toast popping out of a toaster. You know, a watched pot never boils. The watched toaster never pops. So you just do something else and it will show you. It will make sure that you know when it's manifest. It's going to be very obvious. You'll hear the toast pop. You'll hear the water bubbling. You'll hear the tea kettles whistling. It will happen for you, and you won't have to worry that you're going to miss it. So play around with this idea. And again, play is a great way to say it. Don't make it too serious, but just really finding this magic flow and learning how to connect this flow to whatever you desire and letting it manifest for you. And you're going to be so happy that you're doing this, whether or not you use ritual or not, whether or not you use extra ritual, because it works. And you're going to prove that to yourself. You won't have to believe me. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I so appreciate you. Until next time, blessed be. Okay, let's see if we have any questions. Oh, here we do. Okay. Oh, there's several. Okay, is that the chamber number 5 of the heart, the secret chamber, which was closed in former dark times? I don't know what you're asking. If you look on the Hermetic Tree of Life, Da'at, the sphere of Da'at, that hidden sphere is the heart. That's the way I look at it, and that's the kingdom of the heavens that Jesus talked about in the New Testament that is within you. So that's in your heart. Ariel, is that analog like I always did, connecting myself with the universal sabiduria o poder antes de... I don't know what any of this is. I'm sorry. I don't speak whatever that language is before doing something. Okay, here's another one. Question to Ariel. Can an individual break a generational curse? Some say not on your own. You need a high priest. Oh, for heaven's sake, I know. Don't you love it when people give you those rules? Of course you can. I have a little lecture on generational curses that you can watch. But absolutely, you can break a generational curse. You absolutely can. In fact, that's your job. That's our role here. That's our role, is to break those generational curses. So our ancestors are part of us. And some of our ancestors learned amazing lessons on our behalf, and it's because of them that we are where we are and that we're doing as well as we're doing. But some of our ancestors weren't so hot, and they started traditions like abuse and things like that, which aren't so great. And those people are, it's not that we should hate them or whatever, but we do need to learn from their mistakes and rise above them and end those cycles, regardless of what you call them. So those generational curses are definitely there for us to break. And it's our responsibility to do it. And the best way to break a generational curse is by not repeating the behaviors. It's breaking a habit. A curse is a habit. A curse is a habit. And there's many generational habits that are wonderful, and there's many generational habits that are awful. And it's up to us to support and encourage and lift up the wonderful ones and to break off the bad ones, regardless of whether you call it a curse or not. Now, if you're worried that there's some really powerful magician that placed a curse on your family and that they're so powerful that nobody can lift it but another really powerful magician, that is misguided thinking, and that's something that we want to stop. You have all the power in the universe to break any curse that you need to. Just by moving into that power that we showed you earlier in this lecture, that you have the same access to that power as any high priest. I don't care who they are, how they've been initiated, and how they've been trained. You have just the same access to that power as they do. And there is no special ritual that you need to know in order to break a curse. You just have to know that you want it broken, and that power can do it for you. Is it superstitious to do it without thinking about all the stuff, not yet having the party part without the hoopla? Okay, let's see if I can understand this. Is it superstitious to do it without thinking about all the stuff? No, that's the definition of superstition is believing that the stuff in and of itself has power. The power doesn't come from the stuff. But you can use stuff. There's nothing wrong with stuff. The stuff can get you into the right frame of mind. It can get you into the right mood. So rituals are fine. I'm not an anti-ritual person or an anti-tool person. Obviously, I have all kinds of spells that I teach. So those things are wonderful. What I don't love is when people teach that those things are the power. So what we did today shows you that you can do it with or without the stuff, depending on your circumstances. If you take my Advancing Your Craft course, that's the Advanced Witchcraft course, for 6 weeks we don't use stuff, even if you want to. For 6 weeks we are stuff free. There's no tools, there's no deities, there's no angels, there's no powders, there's no nothing except for you and the power. So that's a very important part of any witch's training or any magician's training, is learning to go beyond the stuff, because then when you go back to the stuff is more powerful for you because you recognize it for what it is. It's just a symbol. It's a symbol that you're using, but that your mind and your mind's connection to the power is what does the magic. So yes, that's a very good question. I hope I answered it. Thank you so very, very much for all those great questions and for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I know I did. And thank you so very much to the amazing moderators today. We had Honeypot and Deline, and I also see Dre up here. I don't know if I missed another moderator. But thank you so very much, moderators. And thank you again to everybody. We are off for 2 days, and we will be back on Wednesday for more fun. And don't remember, we also have tarot readings Wednesdays through Sundays every day, every Wednesday through Sunday. So there's a reading for the day and also a reading for a specific zodiacal sign that is a 2-week reading. So make sure you check out my tarot channel, Ariel Gatoga Tarot, and you can find all of those readings. And they are also on our website, arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com, along with all the free booklets, all the free everything that we have is on our main website. Again, thank you very much, and we will see everybody on Wednesday. Until next time, blessed be.